Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a baby story time, baby number one. So Shauna was born on the 5th of July 2005 and she was a water baby. She was born in the water and we were, I think, 13 days overdue. Shauna was a lazy baby. She didn't want to come out, and when I woke up on the 4th of July, I thought she'd be born on the 4th of July, like Independence Day. I was like, ooh, what was that? And I had like a twinge in my back, like a pain in my back, and I thought, oh god, it's happening. So I woke my husband up and I was like, I think it's happening. And he was like, are you sure? And I was like, I think so, but my waters didn't go or anything. And that morning I was going to, I think, pay the deposit on the house. And were we paying? Yeah, paying deposit on a house and signing for it. So in the morning, I just went about my business, and because my waters hadn't broke, they said if your waters break, then you'll have to come in because you can get infected. So I was like, well, nothing major's happened yet. So I went and signed for the house, and then I went into town with my mum, and we went into a cafe, and all over the floor, my waters went, and I was like, oh my god. So I went to the toilet, and I was lying on the floor. I was just rolling about on the floor like, Mum, what is this pain? And she was like, this is childbirth. And so I was just, I just got up. Oh, good girl. You have a bit. Just got up and went to Mothercare still because I needed breast pads. We hadn't got any breast pads. Got the breast pads and then went to the hospital. And then my husband met me there, and I was like, God, this is getting strong now. And I was like to my husband, just rub my back, just rub my back. And he was like, oh God. And he'd been rubbing my back for hours at this point. Like I'd been in the ward for hours. And then it got to about 7:30 at night, and they were like, you might as well go home, inside because she's not going to have the baby yet. So he went home, and then I was just left then, like, to just like ride it through. And I don't know why midwives tell your husband's boyfriends to go home, because why should they be allowed to sleep when you're going for agony? Just me. I mean, I was like, where is he? And they were like, we've told him to go home. And I was like, brilliant, fantastic, thanks a lot. And then obviously I'm just like irritated by that. So I said, can I have anything to sleep because I can't sleep, this pain's unbearable. And they were like, yeah, of course, no worries. And they give me, I think it wasn't temazepam, but it was something like that. I remember it having that kind of name. And as soon as I took it, boom, a minute later I was out. And I woke up a couple of hours later and I was like, what the hell is this pain? And I ran down to the nurse's station and I was like, I need another one of them tablets, please. And they were like, you can't have any more. And I was like, what? And they were like, no, you can't have any more. So I rang my husband and I was like, you better get back because the pains are getting stronger. And I can't do this. And he was like, no worries, he come back. Do you know my husband's done that with all three kids? Did he do it with Autumn? No, he didn't because we had a booked C-section. But I'll do that in another, on the third baby story time. But yeah, he come back, and I knew that I wanted a birthing pool. Like, knew that I didn't want anything drugs related. Like, I didn't want a dripping. I didn't want to have a C-section, anything. And I'd wrote a birthing plan, and I was like, I do not want any drugs. Because I cannot stand needles. So they were like, right, you want the birthing suite, don't you? The birthing suite, the birthing pool. And I was like, yep, that's the one. Sorry, it's been taken. My world fell apart. I was like, what do you mean it's been taken? And they were like, somebody's due to go in. So I was like, oh, okay. And I thought, you know what? This is the only time that I'm going to have the option to do this. Because obviously, when you're in labour, there's only a set amount of birthing pools. There's one at the hospital that I went to. So I just ran down to the birthing suite, ran down into the birthing pool, and they were like, hi. And I was like, hiya. And I just got in. And I was like, thank God they're not saying anything to me. And then about 2 hours later, they come in and they were like, are you Nicola? And I was like, no. And they were like, right, okay, we've got it down as a Nicola coming. And I was like, oh, right, have you? Thinking, I'm not getting out, because that pool was like a godsend. When I got in it, I was like, thank God for this. And by this point, my mum had turned up, and my husband was like drifting in and out of sleep. My mum and my husband were holding my head up in the pool, because every time I had a contraction, I would put my head down and my head would go in the water, and then I'd wake up and I'd be like, oh, oh. And I had some gas and air in the pool, and everything went like, you crazy man. You know that voice that you hear in films and that, when it slows down, that's what everybody's voice were doing. And obviously I was just beyond. I think I'd been in labour then. I went into labour, well, I was in slow labour from like 6 o'clock the morning before, and it got to about 4 the next day, and I was crying for a C-section. I was like, I can't do this. I cannot do this. Like, I'd been in the pool for what, 12 hours, and I just thought, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. I can't do it. I was physically worn out. I was drained. I felt ill, like I was going to be sick all the time. And then all the nurses going, you can't, it's too late, you can't. And I was like, what do you mean it's too late? I need a C-section. I can't do this, because honestly, the pain was unbearable. Like, I felt like it was snapping my hips open. And then a couple of hours later, I just remember feeling this burning sensation, and I was just like, what the hell was that? And at this point, there's no midwife in the room, and then her head's crowning and her head's come out, and I'm like, sigh, 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 the baby's here. Literally, with one push, I felt her shoulders, so I put my fingers under her shoulders and pulled her out slowly, and then she was just in the pool, and I was just staring at her like, wow, like, amazing, can't believe I did that. And then the midwife wasn't in the room, and my husband was like, oh God, no, quick, we're gonna have to go and get the midwife. Midwife comes in and she was like, I knew you were gonna do this. And I was just like in awe of Shauna, staring at her, not even listening to him. And then I stood up and they give me the vitamin K injection, I think it is. And then that sort of releases the afterbirth. But it was like a big telephone string, and they kept bouncing it, and it was like not coming out first, and then it come out. And as soon as like I'd seen Shauna was all right, I got in the shower straight away, out of the bath to the shower, washed my hair, got on the bed, and within about 5 minutes of her being weighed, she was £6.12. She was breastfeeding, and I was just like, whoa, like on cloud nine, like it was unreal. Like it still hits me now, like I'm getting emotional, because I was just like so proud of her, and like I knew I was gonna have a girl. And yeah, I was just like amazed by her, and she was like the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And yeah, so that was my first baby. And we called her Shauna Leah, because my husband had a next door neighbour called Shauna Leah. No, it wasn't. It was one of his friends' daughters was called Shauna Leah, and he was like obsessed with the name, and he was like, if we ever have a little girl, I'm going to call her Shaunaleah. So we called her Shaunaleah and then Michaela after my mum, and I was just like in awe of her. Like everything she did, I was just like, oh my god, she's amazing. But you do as a mum, everything they do is amazing because it is. But I'll be back with another story time from my second child, which is Leighton. If you would like me to do any more story times or let you know anything else about labour and pregnancy, please let me know in the comments. Okay, thank you, bye.